Two teams at 5-2 as we return to the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championships. Good afternoon, Canada. Welcome back to the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. Darren McEwen alongside color commentator Stephen Young. And Stephen, we are in for a great game today. Two powerhouse teams at this event. We have Trevor Bonneau, who's won this event before, representing Northern Ontario, and of course James Grattan, a familiar name in the curling world, representing New Brunswick.
You're right, we're in for a great game. And talking to James ahead of it, he said this is a pivotal game because it gives them a little breathing room if they can pull it off. Identical records, one of them will have that advantage, and a little bit more of a cushion as we get close to the playoffs, and many teams are at 5-2.
Open end to start with, at least the first couple of rocks, as we watch Amanda Gates deliver a hit on her first one. The New Brunswick team is led by Jacqueline Crandall at lead, second Jamie Brannon. We have third Jillian Babin, and the skip James Grattan. They curl out of the Capital Winter Club in Fredericton. And our first look here at Jacqueline Crandall. Again, they come in with a 5-2 record at this event. They finished third in Pool B. We are in the championship pool, which, Stephen, means that they're every game. I mean, every game here matters, but these are really critical games. You're playing teams that finished in the top four in the other pool. They cross over to play this. You don't really want to drop to 3 losses as we look at the standings. Could mean that you're outside on the outside looking in of the playoffs, which starts Sunday.
Yeah, I think 3 losses means you're looking for help. If you can keep it to 2 losses, you control your own destiny. So both teams be looking to secure a win here. It's an important game for sure.
Amanda Gates is the lead for the Northern Ontario team. The second, Mike McCarville, and third, Jackie McCormick, and the skip, Trevor Bonneau.
Watch it.
They curl out of the Fort William Curling Club.
Yeah,
of course, that's in Thunder Bay, where we're going to be in a couple months for the 2022 Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Switch, Mike.
Standings are tight right now. We have Northwest Territories are clearing away at the top at a 7-1 standings, 7-1 record, I should say, and then Ontario, BC, New Brunswick, Quebec, Northern Ontario, they all have 2 losses, and Manitoba, Saskatchewan, they're at 4-4. Top 4 teams go on to Sunday's playoff. 1 plays 4th place, 2nd place, 3rd place. Loser goes to the bronze medal game, and the 2 winners will play for gold Sunday afternoon for a chance to represent Canada at the World Championships.
I don't know how you got that all in under one breath. That's pretty impressive.
You can find all the standings, all the rosters of these players, the schedule at curling.ca/scoreboard.
Tight as you can, tight as you can.
We do have a corner guard now up for Northern Ontario.
Yep.
So New Brunswick's choosing to throw up their center. Looks like we're going to get into a game quick here. Of course, it's a 5-rock rule. We're on the 5th rock, so that's why McCarville's going to be able to hit this and roll over for the other corner guard. That'll give him 2 corner guards to play with, and of course, having last rock, be able to force the play out to the edge of the rings.
Mike McCarville with his first stone of this.
Yep.
Draw 19.
Whoa, Amanda. Hard. Whoa.
Mike will hit and roll behind the other corner.
Well, you know, with all the swinginess in the ice, you can get at rocks that are behind those guards with lighter weights, so that actually isn't a bad shot. It still gives them the one side to work with. But James, realizing that's going to probably try to double off the guards and roll to the center for his own.
A lot of swing if you're just tuning in for the first game of this event. We're at least 6 feet of curl in some parts. And a bit weight sensitive in parts where if you get your weight up, especially on the sides, that you might not see the rock come back. But I think the players have really enjoyed this swing in the ice. The toughest shot this week has been guarding another stone with the amount of swing.
Yeah, I mean, the top teams like a lot of swing. They like that weight sensitivity because it lets them shine as the top teams. And you'll start to see separation because they pick up on that early, and they know how to put a little extra handle when they need to hold it straight.
Pretty close.
You're right, we saw this morning, if you got your weight up, it could run a little straight, and run a little straighter going from the inside out as well.
Hard.
It's not even off the center line. They're yelling hard because they can see it's going to go. So try and get this to a biter if they can, and they will. Very great shot there.
Yeah, great sweep by McCormick and Gates. These are 8 ends of play here at the National Championship. 30 minutes of thinking time for each team, 2 90-minute timeouts. And the hammer was determined by a draw to the button before the game started, and that was won by Northern Ontario.
Trying to run back here.
Jillian Babin, she just celebrated a birthday on Sunday here in Canmore.
Okay, roll it off. Yep.
Probably going to split the rings here. Try and get the opening deuce. Yep.
Jackie McCormick, the Northern Ontario third. She is the sister of Trevor Bonneau.
We do get a lot of relatives and teams in, in this event, which is great to see. I mean, how often do you get to go play with a son, daughter, or spouse? So it's always great to see.
Yeah, it seems at the Canadian Curling Club Championships, we have a lot more like
I see that, but I think it's a little
father-son or mother-daughter combinations. A lot of sisters when we get into like women's and men's play, brothers.
Okay,
but this event has a lot of couples, but we do have some siblings playing on the teams as well. It's a family affair. You see Jackie's just slide through the house.
10.
I'll give James a chance to get rid of this one, and we'll probably be moving towards a blank end unless we get another miss.
Don't see a lot of blank ends in the mixed championship.
No, not the games I've been watching.
Yeah, it makes it fun to watch as a spectator.
I think the 5-rock rule helps as well,
for
too.
sure.
I mean, it gets to a point where there's no sense in trying to clean something up when you're just going to put yourself behind.
Good throw, really good throw.
Which is why that rule was instituted, and the same reason why they're looking at the tick rule that they're talking about. So,
a nose hit there by Jillian. If Northern Ontario nose hits this, they might still be in, but if they roll a little over, they might actually be a corner guard or roll out. So Jackie McCormick tasked with at least a nose, maybe a little roll inside.
Mike.
And Mike
Okay, we're just rolling out. We're rolling out. It's okay. We're rolling out.
probably see Jameson try to draw to the button. And we'll get a chance to do a timing on this. Let's see what I'd expect it to be close, because this would be the path they would use in practicing.
Looking high 14 seconds, I think, from at least yesterday, and 15 seconds even for hog to hog.
We were 14.5, 14.53 this morning. Okay. Again, depends on how much sweeping happens and stuff like that. But yeah, we're 14.5 to 14.9. Yep. We'll get a good time off with James here, though.
James Grattan, New Brunswick skip. Familiar name in curling, been to 13 Briers, all the way back to 1997.
Well, this one's 15. They didn't really sweep it hard either, so I think good 15. So
A
you're
little
right.
faster today, or this afternoon.
Yep.
It is a little bit warmer here in Canmore today than we've had the last few days. I think we were calling for a high of 9. It's a little bit more humid. We have a bit of rain. I was up a little higher in the mountains this morning, and there was a lot of snow coming down up there. But
well, I tell you, it's a golf and curling club, and if I had my sticks and the pins were in, I'd be out playing. That's how warm it is. It's great weather here in Canmore.
Trevor Bonneau with his first of this first end, having hammer.
Yeah, looking just to roll maybe a foot or two just to make a different look for James on the ice, but comfortable first throw to have if you're the skip.
This one, no. 10-5. Well, actually, a little more than that.
James Grattan's final stone of the first end.
Yep.
Right behind the sheet, looks like a great throw. Should just move a little bit after it hits, and mission accomplished for New Brunswick in this.
So I mentioned we don't see a lot of blank guns. I may have
foreshadowed.
Yeah. Although I will say we have 2 other games in action, and all of the granite is in play on all the other 2 sheets. You can find the scores for those games at curling.ca/scoreboard. They are matchup on sheet B between Alberta and Prince Edward Island, as well as on sheet C, BC and Quebec. But in our feature here, Trevor Bonneau looking for a blank end to start. Mike McCarville will clean that in, and it will be 2 zeros that go on the board to start with, and we'll head to the second end.
Well, we thought it would be a clean in at the beginning, and there was an opportunity early for Northern Ontario to split the rings, and unfortunately that rock just went through, which is really what led to this this blank end. Otherwise, Northern Ontario would have been challenged to hang on to two rocks kept wide.
So those 2 other games that are in action right now, Alberta and Prince Edward Island, on the sheet beside us, you see PEI there in the middle sheet. They that match is a seeding pool game. What that means is the teams are playing to determine their positioning, which is a combination of previous year's performances for the provinces for next year's championship to determine which pool they're in. There is no, this event this year, there's no simple pool. There's no easy pool. I mean, you had household names in both those pools. And then the other game is a championship pool game. So British Columbia and Quebec. And very important for both these teams we're watching in our feature, that other game, because again, both those teams, BC and Quebec, also have 2 losses, just like these teams here. New Brunswick came into this. They won their opener against Newfoundland and Labrador. Saskatchewan, they dropped a game to BC. They won again against Yukon, Prince Edward Island, and then dropped a close one to Ontario. They are coming off a loss last night to, I believe it was Ontario was their last loss that they had.
They beat Quebec in their last one. The one previous, they lost Ontario. In fact, they were up 2 in the last. I don't know what happened, but they gave up a 3, which would be uncharacteristic for James and Team New Brunswick. So not sure what happened, but that was a game that got away from them. So right now with the Quebec team, they own the tiebreaker. So they're probably hoping for Quebec to beat BC since they don't with BC.
Yeah.
That would give them that breathing room.
Go.
Of course, they've got to get by this one first. And Northern Ontario got here with wins over Alberta, Nova Scotia, Manitoba. They dropped a 6-3 decision to Quebec. They won again over Nunavut, Northwest Territories, and they lost last night to British Columbia in their first championship pool game. And they again are looking to rebound here today. As we watch the lead, Jacqueline Crandall.
Clean it then. Line's good.
From New Brunswick.
We know we're in for some game in this end because Trevor ignored the one on the top 4, putting up a corner guard. I think this one's going to come right back to the one in the house. It's tracking down. That's not going to be that bad, though. It's going to be a hard double.
Control.
Amanda Gates, we saw her last year in the bubble in Calgary, competing for Northern Ontario. She's been to a few Scotties. And no doubt like to get back. This year, again, it is in Northern Ontario.
Hard. Right to it. Set. Okay.
Nose hit, but it does squirt a little to the right of our screen there, the top New Brunswick Stone.
Yeah, it'll be a bit of a fight in Northern Ontario because, they will want to represent. McCarville said that too. It'd be such a pleasure to play, and she wasn't able to play it last year, choosing not to, but certainly always a perennial contender in that event.
Oh, clean only.
Jamie Brannon, he's made 5 prior appearances in his career.
No roll.
I think Trevor's going to get what he wants, chance to hit something and get him behind his guard. So he just couldn't ignore the 2 in the 4-foot there. They were in too good a position. And
or just this. Yeah, I just don't want to kiss that one here. Control.
Control weight. I think, Stephen, the biggest thing the championship pool teams figured out early, and they've stuck to it, is weight control on the hits on this ice. Is just, using not just normals every time, or, adjusting their weight for the curl to keep their shooter around has been key. And I think the other thing is communicating on the strategy and the weights all throughout the week.
Hard.
Mike McCarville.
Roll it over. Big roll.
Yes, that is Krista McCarville's husband. So busy start to the season for the McCarville household, as I think it is every winter there. Mike is also a teacher like Krista, and Krista just came off the big win in Liverpool at the Home Hardware pre-trials to book her spot for Saskatoon coming up. We're just a week away from starting the Tim Hortons curling trials to determine our representative, and Mike is no doubt going to be busy again at that household.
Gotta go. And covering classes, maybe.
Yes.
Hard line. No roll.
Jamie Branham with a hit. A little bit of a roll into the forefoot.
Yeah, I think they would have liked to keep a bit more separation there, but nonetheless, Trevor's still playing the ones in center. He's not able to use his corner guard, which is what James would want. So.
And some big scores in those other games to start with. We have Alberta cracked a 3 in the first end to go up 3-0 on Prince Edward Island. And Quebec stole a big 4 points on BC in the first end.
Amanda.
Again, all the scores at curling.ca/scoreboard.
Hard. Set.
Hit, roll over.
Has a good shot there. It's not exactly frozen, but it'd be hard to remove without catching a bit of your red. And when you bump it behind the tee line, it becomes an advantage for the team with last rock who can use it.
Nose is fine. Nose.
Every player on this sheet has been to a national championship before and worn their provincial colors, so a lot of experience here. I think those first events or first games you don your provincial jacket, Stephen, it can be, it's a heavy weight on you, and there's a lot of nerves and pressure, but I think all 8 of these players are quite comfortable now representing and getting that nerves out of their system.
Yeah, you're right. When you go to that first one, it's hard not to look up and around and take it in and want to enjoy the event. I think as you go beyond that, you start to realize I've got to focus on the games, and that's where your focus goes. So, and we've certainly seen that so far. A lot of great focus, communication, and shot making. I love looking at the crests and all the backs of them. They're all great designs.
Speaking of crests and designs, the Northern Ontario Moose, Fear the Moose, it is a fierce one.
We're not rolling.
It's a beautiful jersey that they've donned for this championship. I would also say the Brunswick one is pretty nice too.
Can't go wrong with a boat.
Yeah. Jillian Babin being asked for the hit on this shot here. There is a corner guard just below that, or behind that scoreboard that you see on the left side.
Clean it, yep. Really hard. Really hard. Whoa. Clean.
That's a good throw, and rolling a little bit away is nice too. It makes it hard for Trevor to be able to make that longer roll over behind the corner. Certainly getting late in the end in a shot like that would really increase the odds of getting a deuce.
Whoa. Close. Amanda, go. Go, Amanda.
Amanda Gates being asked to make this rock curl with the directional sweep.
Okay, good.
Get a bit of a roll.
I don't think we want to flirt with that just yet, I don't think, eh? Yeah, same as you. Right there.
You hear James talking, if this was his last rock. He tried to roll him behind the center guard to take away the blank opportunity and gain advantage of last rock, but he doesn't want to do that now because if he doesn't make it and
I don't think we're ready to
Trevor's
flirt
able
with
to
it
hit and
yet,
get behind it, then goes back on him. So they'll try to roll a bit more towards center, knowing Trevor's going to try and make the roll and maybe get it closer for his last shot.
Like a 10, probably.
It's great, though. The players often verbalize it, so they tell us, so it makes us look smart that we're telling you what they're telling us.
Yeah. Last night's championship pool game, New Brunswick and Quebec, it was, as we mentioned, went to an extra end, and the James had to draw to the 4 foot. There was a few rocks out in front. He made a great draw in his last to win. Jean-Michel Menard had a pretty difficult slash double for 2 and only able to get 1 on his last in the 8th. So forcing the extra. Nice, simple hit and stick there for James.
Yeah. It's going to give Trevor, he's going to take a go for it, try and get over behind on the corner on this. If he can, it'll force James maybe into a draw, and that'll bring in the possibility of a deuce. There's that moose. I'm looking at it now. You've got me visualizing it. Fear the moose. Is that what you said?
Yes, yes. They don't have moose out here, do they?
Oh, they do.
They do.
They
Okay.
do.
I know they have a lot of elk, but
Yeah.
we didn't. We noticed a lot of fences on the highways to keep them off as best they could, and we had a herd of elk on the golf course here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club just the other day.
Yeah, the moose population's down because of the elk here, but as you get a little further out, you get those big elk and the moose and big moose in the marshes.
Mike McCarville leaning on this, trying to keep the shooter in the rings. It will spin a little too far.
Yeah, good try, though.
A little frustration there from Trevor, but
Take lots.
And it wasn't much. I mean, it's a matter of less than an inch on that to make the perfect roll. So it did roll out, but I mean, that's what he was trying for, and he didn't miss it by much. But gives James a chance now. He's going to try and bury one behind there and force Trevor to draw for a single.
It's kind of my practice.
But if he gives him any peek, I bet Trevor's going after it.
yeah.
And by any peek, I mean just a little peek.
Like I threw
Yeah,
this in
I mean,
practice.
this ice curls so much that even on hits, you can, an eighth of a rock or less, even you can still make
So
a.
I drew the draw the button the last end here, pretty similar to that then? Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I'm going to take a timer because this is a new path. I mean, usually they go a little wider on their draws, so try to get a timing and see if it's running the same across all the ice.
James Grattan, his final stone of the second end. Trying to set up a steal opportunity around a corner guard.
Go then, Jamie! Line's good!
Sweeper's calling a 3, which would not be in the house. It looks like they might be able to drag it out of the ring.
15-8. So he
be
might get
close.
top 12 if he can. 15-8.
Still needs to curl. I will never say it is exposed until the rock is stopped on this ice. They finish hard here. It looks like from that great camera angle they have at least a third, if not more, on the rock.
Yeah, and depending on what weight he wants to take at it too. But of course, if he wants to roll out, it can't be too soft. The other nice news is that you'd only be giving up a single. So, being forced to a single or giving up a single, at this time of the game isn't that bad. But obviously, he'll want to make this. And we had one this morning, the handle came off and it went 1 foot forward, 2 foot sideways and buried in behind. It was great.
Yeah, if you don't throw a lot of rotation, as long as you don't lose the rotation, you can just get around guards and lose your rocks completely behind guards with the amount of swing here. Trevor Bonneau with his final stone, looking to peel out the New Brunswick stone and keep the hammer into the third end with another blank. They're really leaning on this to get it by. Great sweep by Mike McCarville, and Amanda Gates will ensure that goes out. So another blank goes on the board in the second end. We're looking for our first score as we head to the third.
And in an event with no blank ends, we have 2 to start the game.
Yeah. Still good shot making, but yeah, jinx this.
It's interesting, you think of blank end, but I think in both those ends there's been opportunities and great shot making. So the score is not indicative of what we're seeing out here, obviously. But I think at last end, I think both teams are wanting to play. So if we got a couple guards up here, I'd like to think we're going to get into our first scores. Yep, James isn't coming in the house. He's going for a... he's going to go for the center guard right off the bat, where last end he came in.
You can see fans filling up on what is usually sheet 1 here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. If you're in the area, admission is free, I believe, and just proof of vaccination. I say it's free. Oh,
now it is.
If you come, yeah.
Jill, if
have to pay
anything.
for you. Great curling. I mean, again, we have a lot of talented players here, and supporting.
Real go, gotta go.
A lot of people have come in. With Saskatchewan as a big contingency.
All right, it's over
here
now.
from
Just leave it. Just
North
leave it.
Battleford cheering on their team, and of course the host Alberta on sheet B for this match.
Yeah, the tickets are free. All they're saying is if you come, if you want to make a donation to the junior program, they've got buckets out to do that. It's a great club for the community and wonderful kids playing here, so that's a worthy thing. Or buy a 50-50 ticket, of course, which supports the club as well. So no ticket price, but if you're able to support them another way, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I believe Trevor Bonneau's father and Jackie's father won one of those 50-50s while he was here. So
yes, he did. Actually, I saw it posted up.
Line's pretty close.
So he'll pay your admission.
Get early if you can.
That's right.
Amanda Gates, their first rock here. Amanda works for BrokerLink Insurance. She's an account manager.
Line's great. Yep.
And the seating is great. You're right along sheet 1 at ice level. You're basically talking to the players.
2 guards to start this end. I think we're in for a few more rocks in play.
Ironically, the rocks are switched. Usually you'd have the red on the center, and in this case, just because it belongs to the team without last rock, and the team with last rock has their rock right on the center. So, but we are in for curling this end for sure. They're both trying to generate some points here. Well, going hard for line.
Really got to go to get that by. I think they're by.
Whoa, Jamie.
But watch this rock come out here on the other side.
That's
Cleared the guard by a few inches. It's almost, well, at least a half open. Well, about half open on the between that hole.
Yeah, it's allowing Trevor to come through that hole, can see half the rock and get a hit and roll behind the corner guard. A little hack weight here. Should be able to hold it through the hole. And
talk about siblings. Amanda wanted to give a shout out to her sister Jen Gates for she says for making me work extra hard to be the best Gates out there. But the boat's still out, she said. And Jen has had a great curling career, of course, as well. It's a little bit of a miss, but at least the Northern Ontario Stone is still in the rings, and James will have to deal with it.
Yeah, you can see James wanting to go around or do a center guard, but you know, if you miss, you bring the 2 into play really quick. So yep, it's still early. He's going to remove this and sit right there, and it's still not going to be an easy shot for Northern Ontario on that center red. Brennan's going to want to stay around on this. It's got good weight. I think this will be a nice nose hit. It's coming in.
Good. Right on nose.
Really good shot.
So Stephen Ucurl here, is it ice conditions similar as you would in club play here at Canmore, or is it a little more swing, speed about the same?
You know, I'd say it's a little more enhanced during this event, but I will say we've had the Qualico mixed doubles event in Banff and Canmore over the last 3 seasons, or I guess 3-4 seasons when you take what's happening with COVID. And, you know, bringing in Darren Molding, an ice maker who's worked with both the teams, and both the ice makers here have been very responsive and open to all of Darren's stuff and have incorporated it. So we have seen improvements in the ice conditions in both just from a speed, but also from the way they scrape the ice to getting the swing. So it is fairly indicative.
Darren, obviously a great success in men's play, winning the Tim Hortons Brier last year, but he's also a great mixed, I mean, it's great mixed doubles, but he's also great at 4-person mixed. He won this event as skip in 2014 when it was actually in Ottawa, representing Alberta.
I did not know that.
We have a lot of the trophy for this event is just filled with Briar and Scotty's champions, including those from Northern Ontario. Rick and Lorraine Lang won this event. We've had Kevin Cooey here in Alberta winning it as well. In some ways has been a bit of a launching career for launching pad for some of the curling careers. Kevin won it before he won his Briars. Mark Dacey won it, I believe, before he won his Briars. Of course, Colleen Jones, Nova Scotia as well.
So what you're saying is I should try out for this one, because if I win this, the chances are I'm going to win the bid. I like that.
Can't guarantee it, but the only female skip to win it. Any guesses?
I just want to say Jennifer Jones or any of those questions.
Colleen Jones, right?
Colleen, yeah.
One of the Joneses. Actually, she's from Alberta.
Shannon Clyburn.
Yeah, Shannon Clyburn.
I thought she lost in an extra end.
No, she may have at one point, but she did win it back in, let me get the year here.
I know she's playing with Amy Nixon when they lost to Quebec in an extra end not long ago, but she may have won it prior to that.
Yeah, 2004, they won it in Timmins.
Nice.
When it was hosted there, and the first and only female skip to win the event.
Well, it's interesting. I haven't seen a female skip in this event. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, line's fine. Line's fine.
So if you're new to
line's good.
mixed play,
Jamie.
of course,
Always Jamie.
it can be a female skip, but it's just the same rotation. You have a male third,
Real good line.
a female second.
Shannon, if you're listening, I'm good to play
Always
whatever
Jamie,
position you want. I'm in. Let's replicate that 2004. What a great shot here by Jillian to hook that around. Of course, we just watched 4 great shots in a row. Run back and then picked off, roll to the side, and then a freeze right on top. So some great curling here, but certainly advantage New Brunswick.
Yeah.
I mean, they've thrown this run back and made it. So.
Yeah, I think so too. Peel.
Bit of pressure on Northern Ontario here in this end.
I think this is the right call. Run this back, and if you hit it perfect, you'll be buried behind yours. If you don't, it'll be open.
Jackie McCormick, she is an audiologist, owns her own private clinic in Fort Francis.
Mike. Hard, Mike.
This is looking really good. May not stick though.
Just misses the back one, but out of the way at least from the
Just bite the line.
Yeah, James will look to replace that, this time with his rock, so that it's not an opponent's rock being run back. He makes this really well. If anything, he wants to err a bit on the right side of the sheet, because the left side's pretty covered now with these 2 other guards.
Line's good. Line's real good. Really good line. Where? Jamie. No, you're fine. You're fine for line. You're fine.
Looks like she's got a great shot again. Really good shot there. I think you'll see the run back again. Just through this, I expect this to be really close. She didn't miss by much.
Yes.
On it early.
Hard. Whoa. Yep.
Maybe the other way now.
Hard.
I hope they didn't lose it.
Oh, great.
Oh, it's got to sweep it.
At least it's off the end of the 4-foot. They'll be happy with that. Makes things a little bit easier. However, where that shooter rolled to it might block if Trevor has to play a draw to the button on any of his.
You know, both sides, the draw line is taken away from him. I mean, those 2 red rocks give him a bit of a pocket if he gets a chance, but I don't anticipate James missing this. He's going to try and hook one in behind, and at least we believe there'll be a force on, and James makes this good. Could be in for a steal.
Huh?
Gonna try and get a
Give you a couple more
time on this and see 15-8 coming this way. They were able to drag it into the top 12, and we know 14-5 was staying around, so it seems like with good sweepers you got about a second variation you can work with.
James saying to his front end he'll give them a couple more feet then on
Line's
his
real
last
good. Lots of room.
in the second end.
Line's fine now.
Brannon and Crandall on the sweep.
So 14-6. So this should be perfect.
Line looks really nice. It's going to be at least full 8. Grab a piece of the 4-foot biting, and that is buried behind those 2 guards out in front. Great shot by James Grattan.
I guess 13 Briars there, you know why.
Yeah.
Although, you know, it's funny, it's a team shot. I mean, someone's calling, you know, the line, and two sweepers have to judge it. You misjudge it, and the rock doesn't end up in the right spot. So certainly a team shot there.
Yeah.
It's out of sight, right?
A sliver. Oof.
Oh, he's going to try and take it on then.
Hack weight is what Trevor has indicated to Jackie he's going to try and throw here.
Well, we know it'll swing over, and I like this shot from the point of view that with that weight, he should be able to roll towards the blue. But if you draw it down, you shrunk the scoring zone, and you're likely not going to get to because your draw path is blocked. So I like this call because if you were to draw down, I think you're basically saying I'll take my one if I can make my last shot.
Trevor Bonneau, he is a financial advisor with Edward Jones in Thunder Bay.
Close.
Wanted to give a shout out to his employer. He was able to work all through the pandemic and very grateful to be able to help people. Amanda's leaning on this to try and get a piece of that shot rock. I think they've got a piece of it.
They may not be enough to get it out, but if they can roll it in behind.
They stopped for second shot. It will not.
And it's spun back out a bit.
Same shot. Same ice.
Sorry, it will be, second shot. That red one did go far enough. But giving James Grattan the same thing twice.
Same.
He'll be happy with this.
Yeah, and here's a time you don't have to hit the blue and worry about one around because you've already got shot. You've thrown the shot before. You can make it even better, and you're going to force Trevor. He won't be able to play that same sort of lightweight hit. He'll probably go a little wider and try and draw in, which again will be a new path, and anything can happen. But first, James has to make this.
Yeah, and I think James might be okay if it over curls here behind because then he won't have the crosshouse double for Trevor for two. But he just saw this path. It's a little wider, he's saying.
Really wider.
5 is what Jacqueline's calling for. Weight.
15. So it's going to be top 8 probably.
Want to get a good chunk of this, if not all of it, behind the guards.
Great sweep there.
Pretty good. Might be able to see enough to take on the double, but it looks like Trevor's just going to opt for the safer call here with a draw to the button to try and get his one.
Yep.
Certainly a lot more risk here in this shot if he tried to hit, right, than the last one.
T-line.
And I don't think he can get enough of it to get that double that would bring the other one into play. So, I know at this level, you've got to be able to draw the 4-foot for that one. That's your job.
Trevor Bonneau facing 2 New Brunswick counters on his last rock here.
Line's fine.
Needs full 4-foot to score.
They're sweeping,
Sweepers
but
have
not
been down most of the way.
Line should be fine.
Easing up a bit.
Yeah, we're 14-5, so that would mean they should be able to put this into the 4. Needs to slow a little bit, though, I think. Needs to dig in.
They overcook it. It's going to slide just a little too far, and it's going to be, I believe, a steal of 1 for New Brunswick. Jackie McCormick will have a look.
Here, Amanda.
Maybe I was a bit premature on that.
I think they're going to measure it, say.
Oh, nope. I think it was a steal of 1 by New Brunswick, a red one. So two great draws there by James Grattan, but a really solid end by the team from Fredericton to set up the end. A lot of pressure on New Brunswick throughout.
Yeah, and a lot of great shots. I mean, we saw the run back made by Northern Ontario early, but New Brunswick answered right back with the hit and roll to the side, and just having that extra rock and play forced Trevor a little bit, and James was able to make 2 perfect shots. And you know what? Fairness to Trevor, he threw a great one. It was an inch too much swept, but it was a bit of a new path, and still game of inches.
Yeah, it is. As we start the fourth end, just want to give a special thank you to all the local sponsors here that have made this event possible at the 2021 Canadian Mixed Championship. We have Tourism Canmore, Kananaskis, Mary's Popcorn. We were right by that today when we were in Banff. And Visions Electronics, Canmore Golf and Curling Club, been a fantastic host for us. Rome Transit, shuttling around players where they wanted to go and see, especially when they had extra time. Canmore Brewery and Distillery, enjoyed some of their products already. Canmore Raft Tours,
You're right.
El Taquino Tequila. We have Golf Design Services Limited and Moosehead Breweries.
Okay, that's fine, Jamie. I don't want it to overbend too much, so.
Jacqueline Crandall with her first going top four.
Trevor wasting no time in calling the corner guard, eager to get at scoring this end. That was 15 into the top 8 without any sweeping, so we've kind of found that sweet spot.
Wait only. Okay, you can. It's all you guys. All you guys. Line will be fine. Yeah, go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Nice shot. It's okay.
Two perfect shots to start this end, and now Crandall will be asked to put one about 3 feet up in front, right over the center line.
New Brunswick, we talked about some of the previous winners of this event. New Brunswick as a province has won the Canadian Mixed twice, the last time coming in 2007. And another familiar name in curling, Terry Odishaw, skipped his rink to victory at Kitchener.
Really good shot there. Actually, that's a name very familiar. I did spend time out in New Brunswick and played Super League, actually out of the Capital Winter Club. And we're one of those years we actually knocked Terry Odishaw out of the provincials. Wasn't very happy, but
well, interestingly enough, the other time New Brunswick won this event was in 1994, and it was Grant Odishaw with another familiar name in Heather Smith as his third. They won it just up in Leduc in 1994. So New Brunswick, the mixed championship is one that teams from the East have been quite successful in. Amanda Gates with a hit and roll on her second.
And just in case Terry's listening, I got it wrong. It was Grant we knocked out, not Terry. So the two brothers, they're very familiar with them, very big in curling in New Brunswick for a long time.
Good.
Great shot there. Just overrolls a little, but that's fine. It's almost a duplicate to the last time they played down this way. Of course, I would comment about playing against James, but he was too young back then. Not to give my age away, but we did never get to play against each other.
Northern Ontario has won this title 4 times, and the last time it was won was just back in 2017 by a guy named Trevor Bonneau with Jackie McCormick. Corey Carr and Megan Carr was the lead, and they won that out in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia.
Yep.
We have 2 returning champions competing in the field this week. Jean-Michel Menard is the other one from Quebec, and Jean-Michel just hung another steal of 2. He is up 8-0 after 3 ends on British Columbia. And in the seeding pool game next to us, it's a 3-1 lead for Alberta, leading Prince Edward Island. And on our feature, it is 1-0 right now. New Brunswick has a lead on Northern Ontario with the corner guard and a couple rocks in the rings.
Yep. Clean it. Yep. Clean. You can clean it. I think. Yeah.
Great shot there.
Was he?
Trevor's going to want to try and make the hit and long roll.
I don't care as long as he makes it.
Yeah.
Mike McCarville, he's a grade 11 and 12 math and biology teacher. Wanted to give a shout out to his students at St. Ignatius High School. He teaches the boys curling team there.
Go.
Close the game is just going to roll a little too far. No. Yes. Didn't go out, though. Could be an in-off stone. You never know.
Catcher as well, especially if New Brunswick plays the front of the house here. Jillian Babin, a chiropractor at Body Renewal Health Center in Fredericton. It's always good to have someone like that on your team, I think, when you go to these big events.
I think so. I wonder if they spend time after the game doing a lot of the massage.
Line's great. Clean.
I know some of the teams, Northwest Territories is the day off. I was asking what they were going to do and stuff like that. You want to stay loose, especially when you know you still have 4 or 5 games in you for the rest of the weekend.
Whoa, not too
Already played 8 games. It's a long week, especially if you play as a mixed team and you maybe don't go on tour as a men's or women's team. Like, this is a big event. Your provincials might be 3-4 days. This is 7 days of competing and travel. You're staying at a hotel. It's an adjustment if you're not used to it.
Whoa, Mike.
Can I roll that one over?
Pretty good corner guard situation for Northern Ontario with a catcher over there too if they were to sink something around those.
Yeah, they just need to be able to use it. And, Team New Brunswick doing a great job of not letting them use it by executing perfectly here so far this end. Jillian going to be asked to put that rock right back where it was.
Really tight. Just keep a broom on it, Jamie. Really tight. Whoa.
Jillian got into mix because of her parents who played a lot of mixed playdowns together. They got to many provincial finals, but were never able to make it to the nationals, so no doubt a proud thing for her to be able to do here and with a great team alongside her.
Well, if they came here with her, I guess they technically could have made it to their first nationals with her.
And she's a very avid golfer herself, so like we said, if it was a little bit warmer today, maybe.
We've had an unseasonably warm fall here in the Bow Valley. So.
Yes.
But we also got snow, so the ski hills just opened on Friday. So
Gotta go.
Actually, today.
Yeah.
Right,
A lot of people walking around with boots, ski boots on.
Mike.
Jackie McCormick will try and get a hit and roll here, but it looks like she's closer to nose.
I heard Trevor say he thought that was really going to snap, so he jumped on her with Kate sweeping it, but it didn't, and hence the nose hit.
Nose hit. I can't nose it because he's going to try it. He has a no-brainer, really, and he probably has a catcher. I hate rolling there, though. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
All right. It's like 10.5 right there, I think. I think less than that, I throw board, I end up behind the tee.
So James looking at whether he would want to do a hit and roll behind that guard that's out front or a roll off to the corner. If you're rolling behind the corner, you might...
I think we got to almost try the roll, no?
Hear what he says here.
I don't know. I hate it, but...
Yeah,
Plus you think I can get in around the red. 10.5 is what I told her. I was thinking 10.5 and making the big roll, but I don't like that.
Well, then play the turn and flip under.
I know, but yeah.
It's a good discussion there with the front end to make sure that they're committed to James' call as well.
I think I like this.
Well, they're all good curlers, so it's worthwhile seeing what they're seeing. I mean, ultimately, you want to support your skip when they decide what they want to do, so they're not going in with any doubt. But
Whoa!
So it looks like he's trying to play a quiet hit and roll behind his center. Has to flirt with that guard. Well, maybe trying the big roll, and it won't roll very much. So Trevor will get a chance to roll
This might
back.
If we do that, he's going to bury, but I think we can get on either side. I think this is easier.
Like it's different.
Yeah, this one thing, James, he really wanted to get some sort of roll because he knew Trevor was going to try and hit and roll whichever way was easiest. This one going towards his own side guards is going to be enticing him to go in behind the Blues. So a good chance here. If he hits and rolls, there's really no way at it from the outside.
Yeah.
So really good roll here will put him in a good spot.
Good shot of it there. There's 2 corner guards. There you see that Trevor's trying to roll behind and make a big roll, and if it does clip that one that's on the edge of the sheet, could be considered a catcher. Trevor needs to make it first, his first rock, trailing by 1 with hammer here in the 4th.
They got to go to get the roll. Looks like he's
Pretty
got a good one.
close. Gets a roll. A bit underneath. That may have spun out just at the end there, but I don't think it's enough
Unless
for
there's
a
air
good
here,
view of
I
it
don't
there. James is wondering, is there air to get underneath?
I do.
But I think he's opting instead for the hit and roll.
Yeah,
back
like
to the
same
middle.
kind of weight, you think? Yeah, I like that.
I think he's going to try and go underneath. I think it's his last throw, and if he rolls towards the center, low percentage,
same
he
way.
won't give Trevor a shot to get a blank. So I think he sees this.
Yeah, I think
The
that was
other
pretty
thing is,
handy
on the
that
odd
last
chance
time.
he overcooks it, he could jam it on that outside blue and possibly give it a drop or 2. I like this call. It's a little aggressive, but if you can get it underneath, Trevor's got to make a decision on a short run or just draw for his 1.
James Grattan looking for a hit and roll here to put the pressure back on Northern Ontario.
On and off's a good.
Just a little roll.
I was going that way. But we just
Yeah,
went
he's got to be
down one,
careful
so
on
that's
this. He really wants to hit and roll his own blue to the sideboards. You don't think he wants to
To the right here.
to the right,
Steve?
yeah. Just because of the potential jam on that. When you're throwing a lot of weight and you're only trying to hit a quarter, maximum half a rock, crazier things happen. But I expect we'll see a lot of weight and it'll stay pretty straight here.
Trevor Bonneau with, big peel weight attempt here on his last to again hang another blank. McCarville leaning on this to try and get this out, and it will go out no problem. Another blank, and it is New Brunswick leading 1-0 as we head to the break. The 4th end is complete here in Canmore. Join us for the second half. We'll take a short break here and be right back with coverage of Draw 19 from the Canadian Mixed Curling Championship.
One might say I was born to overcome challenges. 2 months premature, in and out of the hospital, and a heart condition. My parents call me their miracle baby. As with all survivors, I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now, and at only 12, I am already a 5-year veteran of this sport. I have my sights set on the Olympics. I will push hard to get there. The only size that matters in this sport is the size of your dreams.
Sweep! Sweep! We should really be curling.
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her, to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me. My dad is my rock. We're a team now, like the four of us when we step on the ice. People say that this isn't a contact sport, but that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.
The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
Welcome back to the second half of Draw 19 coverage of the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championships. It has been a fairly defensive battle here. 1-0 lead between New Brunswick and Northern Ontario. Both of these teams come into the event, or come into this game rather, at a 5-2 record, so a very critical game for their playoff hopes. And it was New Brunswick stealing in the third end. Ontario has had hammer all throughout this, Northern Ontario has had hammer all throughout this game, as we see Jacqueline Crandall's first stone slip right to the top of the 8-foot. Should update you on the other scores in this draw right now. Quebec has jumped out at the break. They are now into the double digits, 10-0. They've stolen all 10 points in this game, leading British Columbia, the team from Kamloops. And in our other game, a seeding pool game, Alberta leads Prince Edward Island 5-1. Darren McEwen alongside Stephen Young here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club.
Good.
We have 8 teams in the championship pool right now, including these 2 provinces that are battling for the top 4 spots, which will go on to Sunday's playoff. First place in the championship pool will play 4th place on Sunday morning, along with 2nd place playing 3rd place. And the loser of those games will go to the bronze medal game. The winner will play for gold at the same time Sunday afternoon, and a chance to represent Canada at the 2022 World Mixed Curling Championship, an event that Trevor Bonneau from Northern Ontario and his sister Jackie McCormick are very familiar with, having represented Canada and earning a silver medal wearing the maple leaf.
Just leave it. Stop.
That was back in 2017. So a few more rocks in play to start this fifth end,
Back
Stephen.
here.
Yeah,
Try and get the nose.
you win that. You go to the Worlds and get a medal. It makes you hungry to want to come back.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're eager out there today.
If you're coaching these two teams, we had to break. These two teams don't have coaches
stay
with them.
close.
But
Whoa.
Steve, if you're a skip or coach, what would you be talking about at the break? If you're Northern Ontario as a team, you gave up a steal of one. You've had Hammer all game. Anything you think needs to be adjusted?
You know, I really
shooter, Mike.
don't. I think, though, the only thing I would say is that it's a close game, and New Brunswick, I think, has executed well. Probably feels like they're got the advantage. So I think for Northern Ontario, it's just, hey, you know, it's maybe one or two shots that didn't go exactly as we wanted. The other team's curling great.
Yeah,
Keep
three.
doing what we're doing. We're doing great. And,
Even with that,
and let's turn the tide a
little
bit.
deeper.
Not a lot of adjustments needed anywhere in this, to be honest. And there wasn't much between these two teams. But I would say coming out of it, New Brunswick has to feel just that little bit better. And so it's just a bit of a pep talk to Northern Ontario is what I would say.
As we watch Jamie Brannon with his stone. Yeah, it feels like it's just been, I mean, there's been a lot of hit attempts where they're trying to roll behind either center guards or corner guards. And New Brunswick, I should say, has made maybe a couple more of those, but it's not like Northern Ontario has seen very many outright misses in this game.
I got it, Phil.
Well, you've seen it, you know, in the ends that Trevor's had last rock, he's thrown that corner guard up, and you can almost sense frustration that he can never get to use it. He has never got a good roll in behind. He's never got a miss from New Brunswick to let him take advantage of having that. So he gets it up, but he can't. And, you know, maybe here we'll see a bit of a different tactic and see how he can adjust to it. But really needs New Brunswick to also make a few misses. They've been curling great. And I would love to see their percentages, but I'm thinking they're very high.
Yeah.
They're talking about the weight. These two, Trevor and Mike, know each other quite well, not just teammates in this discipline, but they also play competitive men's together.
Yep.
Play with Jordan Potter, and their other player is Jordan Potts, Sarah Potts' brother. So I can, just misses the run back there and leaves the guard up. Yeah, directional sweeping on that men's team would be a little challenging.
Just
to
a
call
hair
out
around.
names. I would hope they just use curl and straight as their line calls.
You like that at all?
But good chance here for New Brunswick to
I like
again,
some
put a little
straight.
bit of pressure on Northern Ontario.
Yeah, this is a really big shot. And I wouldn't anticipate Northern Ontario missing that run back next time. So good chance for New Brunswick to put another one around and in. And that rock in the top four is just a great position for New Brunswick.
Yep. Line's tight. Line's tight. Yep. Just keep sweeping. Gotta go. I know.
I got it.
Oh. Yep.
Good communication now from the sweepers to James in the house, and a great execution there by Jamie Brennan.
Yeah, and you could hear what it was. The sweepers were saying it's going to be deep, and he's like, I don't care. We can't rib against the guard, because that would have been the worst of the tolerances. So, yeah, it went a bit deep. They would have loved that just hooked around in the top 12, biting top 8. But more important, they didn't interfere with that guard situation. And that guard won't be there for long. We're going to see a really heavy triple run back of sorts.
Whoa. Okay.
Just the guard is peeled off by Mike McCarville.
Yeah, James still has to be careful. There are the two corner guards, and he'll just need to keep making this guard and holding that position.
You see that beautiful Scotty's necklace around Jillian's neck. She's been to 6 Scotties. So a few diamonds filled in by Kruger there for her
might have to curl.
efforts. Last time, just last year in
Get
2020.
to the line only. Just to the line. I think you're fine for line. You're fine. Just bite the line. Oh, you're good. You're right.
She plays second for Team Andrea Crawford.
It's another great team. Lots of great teams everywhere.
Yeah.
Just taking a peek over, Quebec is relentless. After scoring 4, 2, and 2, they stole another 2 and 4 on BC, so we're currently up 10-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play Jean-Michel Menard after he lost a tough one last night.
Yes, yeah.
And unfortunately, that is the case for Sebastian Robillard playing him today. Jackie McCormick with a big run back attempt here. She gets one. And she'll move one of those rocks out of the 8-foot, a little off to the side now.
Yeah, and a very usable blue stone left up front too. So
you saw James say it's an easy double too for Northern Ontario if they wanted to play it.
It's hard. You might want to come down and tap yours back a bit just to change the double opportunity, but you really can't get through that hole anywhere to do that.
Yeah, if you can never get it here somehow. We could do that. I don't know.
It'd almost be akin to Kevin Martin's throwing it away.
Well, if we go there and stay here. But
it's not wrong, though.
It's hard to play the bump, too, with those two blue guards up front. I mean, they're blocking even the nose tap on your own in some ways.
I really don't want to guard that and leave that.
Yeah, if you guard, you also leave a run back. You're not in a good position if you're James. It's interesting. You're flying three. You've got one on the button. You're feeling good. But I think that's a wise call to call a timeout here and get the team down, the coach.
Yep. We'll listen in here to see what they talk about. Jillian's at the other end, and Jacqueline and Jamie are joining.
Yeah, that's what I don't like.
Could I ever come with like back line?
If you wanted to be real fancy, you could tap this a foot.
That wouldn't be bad.
Like play the guard, and if you wreck it, if you wrecked it, you don't need to move that very far to cut off the double.
That would be really good.
What about this, Jamie? A little tap on this one. I like that, maybe.
Like what kind of weight? Like
We could go either turn at it, too.
if we go not that much, just enough. Like 12? 3.
We move it 6 inches, we're good.
All right. Like a 3-4, right? Probably.
If you throw a 3, I think it's fine.
Okay. All right.
It's interesting. You don't see it a lot where you're playing.
Yeah,
like,
but
to
then
just wiggle guards around.
I like this. Yeah, that's
But it
I
looks
like to make it a little tough.
They're opting for here just to wiggle that right by the Mary's Popcorn Shop sign there. Just wiggle that blue guard over to block the double attempt
you
for
don't
Northern Ontario.
You move it edge on
Still
edge, you're
leave
good.
another guard.
Yeah, I think what's important with this is not only are you moving it over to take the double away, which is their number one concern, you want to keep your red as at least a partial guard on that center red. If you don't, then Trevor will have a nice hit and roll underneath the blue. So he's kind of trying to get both things here. And it's important not just to get the one, but the other. And, you know, if they do happen to go wide and miss it, you draw in the house and potentially just make a block as well. So the tolerances are pretty good.
If you have to. Only if you have to.
Jillian Babin with a big shot here.
Hard!
This looks a little light.
Really hard.
It might get
Little
over.
bounce is what the sweepers are saying, and then
They're trying to block it themselves.
Can't stagger these, that's all.
don't want to stagger them. You heard James say, and they don't. So I think they've definitely blocked the double, but they do, as you mentioned, Steve, left the open center line shot for Trevor to roll either way. Really, they're going to play bumper as the weight call.
It's almost automatic if they get through that hole. I know people are looking and going, come on, Steve, it's a pretty big hole. Well, when the ice swings the way it is and you're throwing a little bit less weight, it's a smaller hole than it looks like.
Yeah, just get through the uprights here for Jackie McCormick.
And she should be able to get the nice roll.
Trying to make a curl to get by. That's awfully close. They're by the guard. Now a nice roll. Not quite. Little too close maybe to that
one way or
guard.
another. Maybe it's
Just
throw it
feathered
hard.
that guard.
Probably hop it in here.
I like throwing hard. You don't play with it back.
Yeah. Probably not like, I'm not peeled, but like
9.
So New Brunswick
9.
having a discussion around the weight. They want to up their weight. They're throwing closer to a normal takeout weight.
Play what you see.
And they'll take the other turn, the counterclockwise turn for James on his first.
Yeah, and I think he has to be careful. I don't know if he noses. Yeah, I think if he noses this, he leaves the double across the other way, so he protected the double from the right
Yeah, I'm just
end.
keeping it up a hair.
But if he noses it, there's enough room on the right to get the hit and roll over, and he'll have that catcher. Minode, that is. happen.
Yeah, if he only hits and rolls like half a rock here, it might set up a double or even a triple maybe. James Grattan with his first of this fifth end, in control of this end so far. Gotta get this by. They found the hole, and what sort of roll do they get? Dead nose.
Well, yeah, it's going to leave a chance to hit and roll over there for sure.
Well, which way?
Which turn now?
I think we got to play with like normal weight and play the double almost. Yeah.
So just like you said, Steve, they have a double chance here.
I think a little less. Yeah, like
And it looks like they're going to stick with the clockwise turn here for Trevor, the same as what Jackie was throwing, but with obviously a bit more weight than the first call.
I think he's using this turn too because it's a flatter with the spin coming that way into that rock. It should be a flatter kick over towards the other, whereas with the other turn, it might go a little bit steeper off the hit. So this should help him.
It really doesn't. Yeah, he really doesn't need to make the double, does he? It's just it's there as if it does over curl.
No, in fact, probably better not to. Probably better to be right behind his blue.
Hard.
Been playing mostly hits this game, Trevor Bonneau.
Whoa! Mike!
Needs to get a roll, though, to get shot. And doesn't quite get the roll. So New Brunswick is now shot on the left side of your screen.
What about trying the same turn and just roll?
Another angle.
Well,
looks
we
a
want to know
little
what
more definitive than our angle here, but I would say...
Yeah, I think
regardless, I don't think James will leave that one there.
Same way?
But if he can get a roll, I mean, Trevor will have...
Well, I can go the other turn, too, for that.
He'll have a draw, but it'll be against 3, and I'll have to take probably a path he's not thrown yet, a little wider.
Same turn, or you like the other one?
Almost out into the foam for your aim. Because this ice curls so much at the break.
And again, different than when you're curling and drawing against 1.
Yeah. And like I said, I think Trevor's mostly been playing hits for this game. So I think as long as New Brunswick can remove the blue stone, they'll be mission accomplished this end. Deep breath by James Grattan on his final rock. Trying to navigate the uprights again with the other turn.
Close.
Not a lick to it yet.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Brandon now trying to make it curl. Switching sides now for the straight, and he will hit roll.
We should take that all the way over. Well, that's mission accomplished.
Now, if you're Trevor Bonneau,
Good game.
which path do you take?
It's easier to make it this way. You know, draw here.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, club ice, but most curling clubs, you'd be looking at that and...
Well, you'd take probably edge middle of 8, and it would curl right to the center.
Yeah, but there's a lot of swing as you get out, particularly closer to the, as we look at it on this side, the left side of our screen.
Well, and he's choosing not to go through the middle hole. He's going to go out wide.
We just played this line more than going wider.
And I like the thought process. You know, you said he's been throwing mostly hits, and he's not comfortable going out wide. And right then, you don't want that in your mind when you throw it. So he's chosen the path. He likes it. You know, his team's, they're in the 5th end, so I think they should be comfortable with the weight too.
Facing 3 on his last, trailing by 1. Trevor Bonneau needs to find a piece of the 8-foot to pick up the single. Sister Jackie likes the line. Sweepers have been on and off.
I think they're going to get by.
Whoa, guys.
They're by the guard, but is it a little strong? It's sailing right now. Grattan will lean onto that, and that's going to be a steal of 1, 2, and 3, and a 4-0 lead now for New Brunswick. And a tough miss there, the team from the Fort William Curling Club in Thunder Bay.
Yeah, just a little heavy there and costed. I mean, the sweepers didn't think it was out of the hand. They put a brush down just to get it going, and it just glided on that path. Not a path they've really thrown either, so it was new for the team to go down. Well, I mean, again, New Brunswick put a lot of pressure on. They made the shots, and they left what they wanted to leave, and unfortunately for Trevor, wasn't able to execute it, so it's 4-0.
Yeah, 3 ends to play here, or more, for Northern Ontario. So you just got to park that and try and get your deuce back in the 6th end. You do still have hammer. You have hammer in the even ends if you can play this out. Take 2, maybe force, take 3.
Yeah, I think knowing the way New Brunswick's been playing, you're going to see Trevor take a lot of risk here. I think you're going to see him maybe change his tactics a bit and really get aggressive. Try and put a 3 on the boards. Well, unfortunate miss, but take nothing away from the way New Brunswick's been playing and the pressure they've been putting on. And, you know, when Trevor's gotten up to throw, he's been facing a lot. And that's not because his team hasn't been doing a great job in front of him, just because of the way New Brunswick's played today. He'll find this one in the house. James is now looking for the finish line. I think anything blue that he can hit, he will hit. And doesn't mind giving up a deuce even here.
Should tell you our next feature game at 7 p.m. Mountain Time will feature Northern Ontario again. They'll be in a Battle of Ontario, taking on Mike McLean and his rink from the Ottawa Curling Club.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not uncommon. We are at a 3-sheet venue for these teams to play back-to-back games on the same sheet but opposite colors. So it's not just Northern Ontario that will be back on sheet A. We've had a couple back-to-back games.
And Ontario's been on a roll since they flipped into the championship. Like they've been undefeated, are they not, since they've been playing in the championship?
They lost last night. Northwest Territories, Jamie Cooey's team did not miss a shot. Northern Ontario, or sorry, I should say Ontario, was just having a little bit of difficulty putting their rocks in the right spot early in the game, and Northwest Territories just, I mean, they were 100% in that game, and Mike McLean's rink shook after 7.
Good.
Amanda Gates puts this just past the Mary's Popcorn Shop sign. And corner guard again to start with for the team from the Fort William.
James will come in again. Hopefully they'll be top 4. Doesn't want to give them something to draw down to, freeze to.
Okay.
Looks like it's running though.
Just not next to it, Jamie. What do you think?
Make a bit of a pocket here, I think. Wow, Northern Ontario is going to like the way this is starting to shape up. So we'll have 2 corner guards. Assuming this shot will be made.
Need help? Yeah, go, 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 go. Halfway at least.
Of course, they don't want to leave it too high because, of course, you can get around that easily. So they're trying to drag that as far as they can. Hopefully get it to the Brewer Distillery sign, the Canmore Brewer Distillery Tours. Well, James is going to throw a 3rd one in on top of this. Obviously, those 2 are not going to help him, but if you can put one right on top of the button, then a bit of a recovery to the positioning of those first 2 stones.
Little tight, tight line.
4 is what the ladies are calling as the
You gotta go line.
weight,
Gotta go for line.
Just at the top house. But James is going to come out to help as they really got to hold the line too.
We got to keep it straight anyway. Yeah, you just.
Yeah, we saw James there indicated to Jamie it was just a little bit maybe turning it on his release.
Yeah, it was popping it out. He just dumped it a bit. But you see when James went out to sweep, I like that. It's like, who's tired? Because it's really 3 sweepers. When you're the 3rd sweeper, you're basically a motivational speaker. As they say, the first sweeper is 80% effective. The second one's 20%. And as I said, the 3rd one is not really much.
We've seen it at some of the men's and women's events now where the skip will come out and be the first sweeper because they, especially if they do have that fitness level, they're going to be the fresh arms.
Yeah, maybe they're cold too.
Yeah, I've heard it's not too chilly out there. I say that from our warm perch here behind the glass. But
No, the fact that you see the teammates get into their short sleeves pretty quickly.
But there's another one where Trevor will jump out. And he's going to get by. Just
It's okay,
a little
though.
clip. But
He's going to get it.
Yeah. Worked out well.
Yeah, the good thing that James has going, at least, is the scoring area is really, really small right now. So, and I think he can get this one going off the top red one.
So we have our first final in this draw. It is a 10-1 win for Quebec. Jean-Michel Menard will improve his record to 6-2. He'll join Ontario with that record near the very top of the standings. British Columbia's Sebastian Robillard and Rink will drop to 5-3.
Okay.
Wow, great.
Blue Rock is gone.
And not just that, I think more importantly, the two reds that were behind the tee line that were helping James, none are gone as well. And his other one is kind of in behind, so that couldn't have worked out any better. Great call.
Yeah.
Great execution.
Big weight shot by Jamie Brennan.
Oh, and Alberta in the other game after 5 is up 5-2, and they have hammer. So in control of that. See if they can bring it home. We'll keep an eye at the host province team.
Line.
Yeah, Craig McAlpine's
No line.
good to get a win in here if he can hold on to
Only
that.
if you have to. It's got to curl a ton. Jackie. Go, Jackie. Yeah, go, 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 go.
Trying to use his corner guard here.
He needs to really move over there.
Here, I got it.
Well, there's a great example to see how far that came. I mean, yes, it's a bit deeper than they would have wanted, but it's got to be almost half buried, at least quarter
Okay,
buried.
and if you hit that, it's great.
James
I like
saying,
that.
James saying, I think normal weight was the call, or close to normal. And although that ice looks a little more than maybe normal, but if you hit the corner guard, he indicated to Jillian, it's not bad either.
100% hit something.
Yeah.
If it's a blue stone, make it go away.
Up 4 at this point, later in the game.
Yep.
It's really tight to the guard.
Did Jamie hold it? Great sweep, and they will just get by.
Good show. Really good throw.
Yeah, good throw, good sweep, good result. Well, we are getting deep in the end, so it's going to be harder for Trevor not to ignore those ones. Might go once more. James has a really good setup there in the middle of the sheet, but Trevor's got to generate some points, so he's going to have to try and use those corner guards. So once again, we will go around.
Line's great.
And looking at the scoreboard, I don't think
Line's
James
good,
will get enticed into doing anything other than hitting something blue.
Hard!
This line looks perfect for bearing. They just have to bring it a little harder. Got to really sweep to get it there.
Hard!
Maybe a little lighter, but the line is really good to bury this if they can get it there.
Hard!
Yep.
Hard.
Good chunk of it behind.
And ideally the third shot. I don't think they will. They'll be sitting 4th. But
Like the same or less?
like I said, it won't matter. James is going to hit into this. And it will spill into his own red. It'll be interesting to see what comes of that, but James is not going to worry about it.
Yep, right.
Hard out of her hand.
Gotta go. Really hard.
A little tighter line, but she could be close to getting by this. They got enough. They papered it, but still made the shot at the catcher. Yeah. Yeah, good sportsmanship there by James Grattan to apologize to Trevor Bonneau for.
I did the Russ Howard voice on that one.
James say did the Russ Howard. It was pretty.
Yeah, I did.
It's a good person to mimic, though.
Good throw.
Oh, yeah.
Really good throw.
Yeah, Jillian shot just wicked off the guard, but came in enough to hit the Northern Ontario stone and maybe made those rocks even a better setup for them in the house.
Well, Trevor's going to try to make the double and get the roll. I mean, the roll is the most important, but he does have to contend. He's only got 3 rocks with those ones, so smart play here to not just do a straight draw.
Whoa, close yet?
Jackie credits her brother Trevor for convincing her to get back into playing mixed competitively. She moved home a few years ago and thought her competitive days were behind her, but it was a perfect fit for her, this mixed foursome. Both Trevor and Jackie grew up in a small town, Stratton, Ontario. And I thought I knew my Ontario geography. And then I found out where Stratton was. It's a tiny community on the border. You can almost see Minnesota from the border there. It's just outside of Fort Francis. There's a small, I think it's a 2 or 3 sheeter there in Stratton. So Trevor and Jackie are from there. I believe Jackie moved back to that area. She attended University of Western Ontario and was coached by Bruce McCanich, and credits him as well for
same as I was down
getting
here.
her to enjoy the game and as much as she does.
I'm not trying too hard.
Yeah, I mean, the university curling's great.
It's always
and the
going
chance to go to the Olympiads, and so yeah, it's really good when you go to those school programs, and it's done really well across Canada.
He still has to come to us in the middle there.
Those programs at Laurier, at U of A, and some really good curlers come out of there.
Want to get that thing?
James will reset. There's something just in front of the rock there.
Really hard!
Maybe got this one going a bit.
Really hard!
Doesn't want to jam it.
Oh,
They got away with it.
it's a good weight.
Good sweeping there. Jamie Brannon has earned his keep this afternoon with some coast-to-coast sweeps on those hits, at least in this end.
Maybe he'll be the one getting the chiropractic treatment afterwards. He's earned it, to your point.
They have a bit of time off. New Brunswick's next game is tomorrow at 2 p.m. They'll take on the leader of this event right now, Jamie Cooey in the Northwest Territories, who sit at 7-1. As I mentioned, Northern Ontario goes back on the ice 7 p.m. Mountain against Ontario.
Well, and even another reason to make this an important game, knowing you've got the top team coming next, you certainly don't want to risk back-to-back losses. But any team can beat any team out here.
Trevor Bonneau with his first stone, looking to draw around.
That was going to use that top 12 rock as his guard.
Be
Try
back
and take it to the back 8. As much separation from the run back as he can and force James to draw down to it.
Sweepers have not stopped on this.
It's got a great line going. If they can drag this back, they do want to get it behind.
Every inch, guys, hard!
The further the separation they can get, the better on this one.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And they'll get almost T-line there.
Just a couple feet short, but what a great throw. And especially after the last end, you throw one through, you might be thinking a little, and that's a great readjustment. I think you'll see James run it rather than pick
Same
it.
weight as I just did. Same weight.
Does have to be careful because he could jam it on the back one, but
We can get away with nose, but not much. Same weight.
he's going to take the other turn this time.
Hair high is great.
Hair high, which would be on the broom side where Jillian has her broom.
I give a little shout out to our cameraman there. Some great angles, some great close-ups, and really easy to follow the play when they're doing that.
Yeah, big thanks to IKS Live for the fantastic technical coverage of this event. Really got to lean this. He does have a piece of it. And will roll out with the raised stone and his shooter. So Steve, do you take one here? Blank? What do
No,
you do?
you blank it. I know it's hard to do, but I mean, you really need to generate the points.
Blank and try for 3 next time? I think we have to.
Yep. It is unanimous.
Yeah, it just gives you control in the 7th, and then last end, it's who cares? Meaning that if you give up 5, it doesn't matter. You can go all in. So I think it's a smart choice.
Trevor Bonneau will look for another blank. 4th of the game if he can roll out. And that he will do. So it remains a 4-0 advantage for New Brunswick and the team from the Capital Winter Club in Fredericton as we head to this 7th end. one other game remaining on the ice right now, and it is Prince Edward Island versus Alberta. Alberta with a 5-2 lead right now, and it looks like it will be maybe a couple more put on the board by Craig McAlpine in his rink.
Yeah, he's sitting 2, and he's going to draw for 3, and he just has to hit paint. Or I guess anywhere the stick will touch. Sometimes that's just in or just out of paint.
Yeah.
Well, again, we saw an exciting last end, lots of opportunities, so I'd anticipate same this end. I think a high-risk end for Northern Ontario, lots of rocks in play, and James ought to be careful because last end, if you remember, they wanted to draw a top 4, and the first one came behind, the second one came behind the tee line, and all of a sudden, Trevor's got a guard and 2 behind the tee line, and New Brunswick a little fortunate that they couldn't capitalize on that, and they were able to get out of it.
Yeah, key shot in that end, definitely Jamie Brannan's hit to remove those 2 New Brunswick counters behind the tee, and as well as the Northern Ontario stone. Bring play above the tee line, as you mentioned, Steve.
Yeah, as I say, from lead through skip, New Brunswick is playing a tremendous game. And
great shot. Great shot.
And Northern Ontario is playing very well as well, but
yeah, she was wider than everything.
James was talking about that draw there by Jacqueline, a bit wider, so maybe a fresher path, and it was a great weight to sit top 4 foot.
You know, if you look at this, where Trevor's putting that broom and where the guard would end up, I think it's a good reminder when you're throwing corner guards. It's not just stand up there and throw a corner guard. Make sure you're not leaving it in the path you may require for your draw to the button to get one if it goes. So you're seeing these a bit wider than you might expect, but that's just to make sure they're not blocking draw paths. I want to take this as close as they can, though. Because with the swinginess of the ice, you can still get at it. It's got to be nothing better than to hear from your skip, same shot. You just threw it. You know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Got to be in, though, that's all. Right to it's fine. Got to be in. This looks way light, guys. Looks way light.
They want to get this in.
Yeah, they don't want to give a guard. That's for sure.
Okay, well, you're all
come up light. Okay. It is well guarding that stone in the house, but not where they really wanted that to end up.
No, I like this call.
Yeah. So they're talking here about guarding the guard because New Brunswick can remove their own. They're going to take a timeout here. So timeout called by Northern Ontario. We'll get a good discussion between the players on how they want to approach this.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily a big fan of guarding, but I understand the thought process because you're right, James is allowed to remove his own rock. And certainly that's another guard that's helping them and playable stone. But I kind of like either going,
of course, you're gonna
throwing another guard up there or even coming in and around to it.
Like we know that you could play.
Let's listen in though.
Get that.
But if we weld, they rip, then we go on the corner. What are they? They rip the guard, and now we try to directly make our front of the suit, right?
And that's it.
That's the double.
Because if we
put it go here and they make a good one. It's gonna be tough to ever get to. You know what I mean?
I agree, but we're kind of
freezing on 2 rocks here above the top 8.
So I think what I heard Mike say is if they do guard, it might be tough for Northern Ontario to generate.
It doesn't change anything. If we're gonna guard, no, but if we're gonna guard. No, especially because then they're going to peel that into us. Like I think it's 2 calls, here or guard. I'm partial to guard right now. I like that. Like like if they ever bounce off this, we could, or don't set up perfectly, we can use this too. Like this can be a guard later if we have to. Okay, a 1.
So the 1 is the call, which is just over the hog line by the Canadian Mixed Championship logo.
Even though, as I said, I prefer his other call, I think what's smart about this call is it's going to guarantee rocks in play. And if you look at, even though, I mean, the danger is that one's biting or half in the top 4, it's going to be well protected. You could even see James say, well, okay, I'll just start guarding this myself. And then it is hard to get out. I don't think you will. James has a 4-0 lead, and I think he's going to hit his way out of this if he can. But there is a little risk with this because of the great placement by Jacqueline of that first stone in the top 4.
Yeah, discussion we would have not seen 3-4 years ago in the 4-rock rule, because New Brunswick would have been able to peel this in the 4-rock rule once it comes to rest, but they can't. So down 4. Northern Ontario is looking to generate something with the 5-rock rule in the 7th. So James drawing right in around. And
that was my fear for Northern Ontario, is that James says, you know what, I'm not going to chase. Let's go all in here. And it's not a wrong call. If he gets this one around, and Northern Ontario is going to have a couple of shots before they get into scoring position, and James may be able to get out ahead of it. We're already into second, last of the, no, I guess first of the second stones.
Jamie Brandon with his first.
Can you clean it only?
6 would be
clean it. 6
top
is perfect.
4 foot and perfect in Jamie's
line's great.
view.
Oh, no, you don't have to. You don't have to. Stop, just clean it. It's fine. Little.
That's perfect.
That's a great throw there.
So now Northern Ontario, this is a big shot for Northern Ontario right here by Mike McCarville.
Even here's good, but button, I like that.
You know, when you look at this shot, though, I mean, James does have full access to that red card for a run back. So the blue would have been better if it was just covering a little bit. But there's rocks in play, and truth, that's what Northern Ontario needs. So, and I bet you we could go put a bundle of rocks in that 4 foot still. So lots of opportunities still here. But you're right. Key shot of the game right here for Northern Ontario.
Line's nice. Stay close. Line's good. Yep. Where are we? Yep. Hard.
Gates and McCormick on the sweep. Sorry, Steve.
No, we got to go hard to get by the top 12-foot line.
Just kissed off.
Oh, and really bounced it open.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, it's spun back pretty good at the end, so it's not quite fully open from the hack here for Jamie Brannon, but you can see it's about half open now. Took a nice spin for Northern Ontario at the end.
You got to get it out.
The good thing is, I mean, that top guard that really isn't in the way is very far out, so shouldn't even be close to it when he goes by. So if he can just mentally take it out of his mind. Now, if you were a lefty throwing this, you'd be coming from the other side. That might be a bit different.
For sure.
Make it go away and roll a little to the inside would be absolutely ideal.
You can see Jamie took a little extra second there on this one. 7th end, big shot here. Key game for the team from New Brunswick.
Really hard.
Gonna get this by.
Close,
Not quite.
Hit that one.
But look at this, right in, and a very fortunate break for New Brunswick.
I called it like at the hog line.
But yeah, I was just about to say, James Grattan did call that before he hit it. He knew that was going to happen.
There was no apologies needed there.
Turned around and said to Trevor, I called it at the hog line. But yeah, what a result.
Still, I mean, blue shot. So if he can freeze in the crotch of those 2 reds, it's not a bad shot at all. There's rocks in play, and that's what he needs. And there's still lots of rocks left. So, you know, it's one of those things, like we say, you know, James is looking good, but when you don't have last rock.
Yeah, all the rocks this end in front of the tee, or at least on the tee for that one that's counting for Northern Ontario. Trevor's coming out early on this one. They don't want to be too light.
No.
Gotta go.
Some encouragement there from McCormick to get Gates and Bono to
bounce off.
At least get this out of the way. So bounce off. It is a usable stone for Northern Ontario.
Good opportunity, though, for James to sink one right around that, take away the run back.
What else? Anything? You can even tap it a bit. Top 8.
like for James here, giving up a 1 is great. Giving up a 2 is absolutely fine. Stealing probably ends the game.
Yeah.
But every rock so far this end is in play.
Yeah, it has been a reversal from those first few ends.
Yep.
This is what you were talking about, no blank ends.
Yeah.
Hold the line.
Starts now.
Yep, keep going. Yeah, just sweep.
6 would
Just sweep. Just sweep.
be top 4 foot, which is right what they called.
Oh,
It's a great shot. Really nice
whoa,
weight
whoa,
control.
How much do they bump it? Almost a shot, like you said, Steve. They don't need to be shot right now. They just need to choke off the scoring area for Northern Ontario to be held at just 1 if they can.
And I wonder if Trevor would ever try coming the other side, right wide. You can get back in and get a second one in play.
So how do we go here?
You know, yeah, that's
just
what
what
I
he's
like right there. I mean, the problem with bumping your blue back is I don't see how James uses the current red setup to get at the back blue one now with the overlaps.
And if Trevor ends up, like, even if he's light on this one and ends up top 8 foot here, he'll have a usable stone. Yeah, basically get anywhere in that area there. And if he ends up on where the club for Canmore Golf and Curling Club is too, might be a stone he could tap back on the next one for Jackie.
Yeah, I don't think we touched this yet. I like this. Let's go here.
So yeah, it looks like he is going to switch to the other side of the sheet and use this.
You know, and even if it did come up a bit short, you can run it in later.
She's okay.
And
She's
provide
okay.
some opportunity too. So I really like this call. Well, again, I think we said it almost every shot this end, but really important shot here for Northern Ontario.
Line's close.
They're going to be out wider than they've really been, so it's a bit of guess on weight, I'd say here.
Yeah, we saw the New Brunswick, Jacqueline's first was a bit further out, but this is even further, and this is not the sweepers have dropped off there.
Yeah, the tolerance would be light, but I feel like this is just running.
That's going to slide right through the rings.
And that'll be our first rock not in play. Yeah. Other than the ones down here.
You ever tap it right on the nose again? I like the exact same shot. Same. Everything the same.
A little surprised James isn't coming on that same shot we just saw and kind of blocking that area off. It's really the only way I see Northern Ontario getting multiple scores coming around. So a little surprised about this, but if he does bump and get it to the button, then, well,
yeah,
that's probably the best result he can get.
Okay, well, clean, yep. Headline.
Back 8, they're saying, for weight.
Yep.
That's perfect for what they want.
Whoa, Jamie.
He's by the guard. They're by the guard
Half of this rock he wants to hit.
Just got to stop. Line these up.
And
great shot.
Brunswick is now shot, and that blue rock is awfully lonely and lined up as well.
Well, you know, I'd run that blue right back, and it could go jiggle, and do a lot of good. Just get past that first upright, and then hit into the second upright, and yeah, a bit of an opportunity here if he can. Again, that's why I didn't like for James coming that way. Yes, he gets one on the button, but he's playing on the side that he was well protected on.
Whoa, Mike!
They need to make this first, and they need to drag it over. Jackie McCormick will have a piece of it, but it's going to hit it high. He miss everything in the house.
Do we eliminate that now?
Where's guard?
Well, there's still a hole there. There's a hole back to that red one for 2 still.
Here.
That's the shot you need.
Smart though.
Is it?
Look how good we are if we.
Yeah. Okay.
You know. I think we got to.
So he is going to play the
I think,
bump
I think
hit.
I took too much ice down there.
Well, again, it makes sense because if that blue rock isn't there, the maximum Trevor's going to score is 2.
It's better off
if you leave that one there, there's still a 3 in play, even though it doesn't look like it. Yeah, there really is. So.
Yeah, this is a math call more than
nose is perfect. Shade inside is great.
Call.
Yeah,
I'd like to spin them off
too wrapped up in the angles. Just think of the fact that you're up 4-0. There's only 2 rocks to come for Northern Ontario, and they're sitting second right now.
Getting rid of a blue, that's never a bad idea.
Yeah, there you go. And I think ideally, if you can hit this on the outside a bit, it'll block the center more and really make it hard for Trevor to figure out how to get towards that center. I think you can see the wheel spinning right now. It's a very Trevor's going to be faced with a very tough situation here in a moment.
James Grattan looking to remove the lonesome blue stone from the house.
Whoa. Never.
He's close.
I think he's got a great shot here.
And just like that.
Usually when I'm playing and we say never, we mean it.
Yeah, James Grattan, even you heard it in his voice, he was a little bit
more at the
disappointed with the result of it, but he's sitting 6.
Might be easier to make this.
But there is a pocket. Trevor Bono has an uphill climb, but the deuce is not out of the question yet.
I think, though, I think Trevor's got to play into it. I think if he puts one in and it's not shot, James is just going to guard it, because then you're running one of James's rocks in order to get yourself shot. You're only going to get one. Not sure what the final call was, but I do think you've got to hit the 2 that are shot.
Try and make the thin double and free sound.
Thin double.
So he's coming down with the
give myself
counterclockwise turn. It's Trevor's out turn.
Firm.
Into the rock that you see on the C on Canmore.
Yeah. And then it's going to wiggle back and nestle in between those 2 on the button.
He's going to hit something, but he's facing a lot of reds here. Trevor Bono with his first of the 7th end, down 4.
Hard. Whoa.
A little double.
He wants it thin. He's
sweep through and ends up in a pretty good spot. Second shot rock right now.
Exactly what he called.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if James doesn't just guard it. He could take it on, though. He can get it out of there. The risk is leaving a double, but he doesn't have to keep his other one around. He just needs to get rid of it. And it's pretty much exposed for that shot. I think those are your 2 calls: guard it or rip it. And I bet you he's going to rip it.
I like 10. I like 10.
You know James.
10 and a half, actually.
10 and a half, so pretty good weight.
You can probably afford to hit 3/4 on the outside without it being jammed as shot, but anything more than that, and I think you
10 and a half.
You risk giving up the deuce here.
Geez, I could throw it too hard and rip it out of there too.
Whatever you like. Oh no, I like it.
I like this too.
They're all in on it.
Yeah. He didn't even look at the guard, but that's because he knows getting rid of the rock is better. But
yours. Okay.
Good communication there at the front end, because you knew Brandon had shot one earlier, so just checking on it.
Looking to make it go away.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I think he wants him to stop.
Straight.
Oh, he's close to the guard in the top red. He's by both. What a shot. James Grattan with a beautiful shot to sit 5. And Trevor Bono will be left with a tap for 1.
Yeah, that
Look
was...
at that, paper thin. And the second one, too.
Well,
didn't even move the shot rock either.
I had to think 3 feet before that he was asking him to curl it.
Move it.
Well, I think Trevor's wants to make this to go away with a good feeling here.
Yeah, maybe get his 1, see what happens.
You never know.
Trevor Bono with his last of the 7th end, down 4.
At the end, Mike.
Facing 5.
Straight.
That looks like a really good shot here. You just have to manage it in properly.
Really close.
Got to go hard, though, to get by that red.
And they're by the top one. Enough weight. Just great sweep, great shot.
Great.
And Northern Ontario is on the board. 4-1 after 7. And that will bring them home without Hammer. New Brunswick will have last rock advantage and a 3-point lead.
I think if you perfectly draw out a 5 free guard zone rock, your skip should be facing 3 on the last.
Yeah.
So it's possible to obviously get that 3.
I've seen a lot of 3s come out in some of the 5 rock or in new 5 rock rule format, but it's tough when you're trying to steal 3.
Especially when you're playing against a team that hasn't given you much.
Yeah. They've been sharp. I would say kind of the biggest difference in this game was that 5th end. We think back, Trevor had a really difficult draw. He had a decision to make whether he was going to play the in-turn draw around some awkwardly staged guards or go outside in, and he just was a bit heavy, and it was a steal of 3 was really the difference in the scoreboard. It's been a fairly defensive game otherwise, that end excluded, but some great shot making by New Brunswick to put all sorts of pressure on Northern Ontario.
Yeah, normally a skip is going to stand up there and draw 8 foot easy, 4 foot fairly easy, but when you force him on to pass like he was there, creates some uncertainty and a little bit extra, probably gave it thinking it was fresher, and it wasn't, and it just ran on him. So a tough break there. I mean, it's okay if you give up 1 or 2 in that case, but giving up 3 is hard. But he's got the long guard. That's the harder of the 2 to play. So
as we play this final end, the other sheet, only one other game in action right now. Prince Edward Island's narrowed the deficit a bit with a 3 score in 7, so it's now 8-5. Alberta leads. Team from Alberta will have Hammer playing 8. And a tick attempt is made by Jacqueline Crandall. And she will spin her rock into the house. Great shot.
Really good shot. Well, the only good thing is it's 2 rocks in play and 2 rocks thrown, so it's certainly something Trevor can use later in an awkward way, but can use it. Of course, we'll try to replace this probably halfway on the center line.
Yeah, then go deeper.
Trying to drag this as far as they can. They want it closer.
Okay, good.
2 good throws to start the end for Northern Ontario. I think we'll see another tick.
Yeah. I don't mind a little more this time.
So by a little more, I think he's hoping to push the rock a little further, but also roll their rock out. Of course, they do not need or want rocks around, and as we saw with that other red rock still in play.
Yep. Gotta go hard.
Hack is the weight that the sweepers say it's out of Jacqueline's
Gotta go.
hand.
Still gotta go.
Trevor jumping up to get ready to sweep the Northern Ontario stone out. But it's not going to end up out of play.
Not that one.
Really 2 great shots by the New Brunswick lead in this 8th end.
Yeah, well, 2 great center guards placed and 2 great tick shots. Well, it's okay. Trevor will put another one up there, another card, and of course James will start to rip at things and remove them, but as I look at the New Brunswick logo and I see the boat and I see 4 oars, you think that's just for curling? You think if it's football, there's 12 oars, or whichever's going out, they want to get this one over for sure.
And if you're Northern Ontario, I think you can put a curling rock in your logo at this point. They've had great success, men's, women's, and mixed. That one they won't get over for Mike. So
You like
James
that, or?
in peeling mode here.
This is like a quarter rock. Half, you're fine. To do that, you got to hit a quarter.
All right. Just make it go away.
Yeah, don't overthink these. He's made a lot of big hits
hard
this
all the
game.
way. Really hard. Really hard.
Might get both of them here.
All you got, Jack. Right out.
Jams it, but all the same. Good shot.
It's pretty good navigating of that rock through the hole there, too.
Yeah.
Same thing.
By Jacqueline.
Okay, wait for it if you can. Are we in? Whoa, whoa, let it stop, let it stop, let it stop.
That will just slide to the top of the rings.
Heel.
That's fine.
After this, there'll just be, I think, 4 blue rocks remaining.
No, just don't worry about it. Watch that one, Jeff.
Great throw there. Trevor's probably going to throw one more guard.
Northern Ontario back in action, as we said, 7 p.m. Mountain. You can catch that game right here on Curling Canada's YouTube. You can subscribe to the channel or hit the bell notification so you don't miss that game, depending on your time zone. That's 9 Eastern. And a very important game if either way, but certainly if Northern Ontario can't pull this out, they'll be at 3 losses and have to really battle to stay in this.
Great. Yeah, back house. Keep it moving.
So no guard here. They're just going to use the
really
guard
good.
in
Keep
the
it
house
going.
and try and draw around it, which is a really good call.
Hard.
There's been a lot of sweeping in this game.
Yeah.
Like every draw seems like there's been coast to coast for a lot of these players.
Yeah, a lot of that will be exposed, so Jillian will be asked to hit half rock, peel it out.
Jillian Babin with her first of this
Clean it.
8th end.
Clean.
They like it.
Right to it,
Just a gentle clean by Brennan.
Oh, beauty.
And they are 1 rock away from improving their record to 6-2.
And having the tiebreaker over Quebec and Northern Ontario, should that be something that comes up later.
There are no tiebreakers in this event, so it is head-to-head or last stone draw that is the determiner. All the teams obviously know that. So James was saying before the game, this is a very important game. James Grattan was saying that before the game. Very important for them to win this one. Northern Ontario has a nice shot here, right back to the back of the 12-foot. Jillian Babin, though, if she can see enough of that, she can end it right here.
Sure.
Yeah, and even if you pick the top red, something's going to be exposed on the next one, and James will have 2 shots.
That's the same. Yeah. Okay.
Well, Northern Ontario's done a good job of making the best of what they were faced with.
For sure.
Here.
They fought, even after giving up the 3, they really fought hard.
Yep, hard.
But New Brunswick
Really
did not
hard.
give them any room
Really hard.
to work with.
Really hard. Really hard.
They buy the front one.
Okay, good sweep.
Oh,
Yes,
what a sweep, what a shot.
Yeah, good luck there.
And that means that James, Jillian, Jamie, and Jacqueline will improve to 6-2. New Brunswick's Capital Winter Club representative from Fredericton will improve to 6-2. Northern Ontario's Trevor Bonneau from the Fort William will drop to 5-3. As we said, we'll be back with them at 7 p.m. Mountain Time for Battle of Ontario. For my color commentator, Steve Young, I'm Darren McEwen saying good afternoon, good evening. See you back here later tonight.